Hi guys, I'm Lainey. I blog over at Life is But a Dish, and I'm really excited to be here today taking over the Feed Instagram stories. If you want to find me, this is my website, lifeisbutadish.com, and I've got quick, easy, approachable recipes for the everyday cook. And I'm Life is But a Dish everywhere, Facebook, Instagram. And today I'm making my artichoke, asparagus, and tomato pasta salad. It's really good, simple ingredients. You can make it ahead of time, and it's great for Labor Day coming up. The recipe is on the blog, and here's what it looks like. It's just really pretty, simple ingredients, my kind of food. Before I give you a screenshot of the ingredients, I'm going to walk you through and show you what you actually need, which is not much. So we're starting with some penne. I'm going to use about 3/4 of a pound, so about 12 ounces. So you can absolutely do the entire pound, just add a little bit more of everything else. Then you need some asparagus. I have about 12 ounces of asparagus, some cherry tomatoes, and then a jar of marinated artichoke hearts, which I get these at Trader Joe's. They're really good and they're awesome in this salad, or in this pasta. And then for the dressing, you just need some olive oil, some red wine vinegar, some dried oregano, salt, and lemon. So I'm starting by just bringing a large pot of water to a boil. And the most important thing when you're cooking pasta is to make sure that you have enough water in the pot for the pasta to swim around. So if there's not enough water in it, then the pasta will begin to stick and it's no good. So fill up your pot all the way, let the pasta swim. While the water is boiling, the next thing I'm going to do is to prep my ingredients. So I'm going to cut this asparagus. This is really big, thick asparagus. I'm going to cut it into 1-inch pieces. Okay, perfect. Those are all chopped up, and now I'm going to cut all of these cherry tomatoes in half. Tomatoes are all chopped, and now I'm not going to rinse these. I'm just going to drain them and then chop these up roughly. And the reason that I didn't rinse these is because I want to keep all the flavor that the artichokes were marinating in the jar with. And again, these will just get a rough chop, which is kind of hard to do with one hand. So another question that I get when people say, what do you mean when you say rough chop? I always think about like what size I'd want to put in my mouth on the fork, so just like bite-sized pieces. And that's it for the pasta salads, for the prep. So I have my asparagus, my tomatoes, and my artichokes. These we're going to blanch, which I'll show you in a second, but now I'm going to make the dressing. I find the easiest way to measure dressings is to do it right in a measuring cup. So I have a 1/4 cup of olive oil, and I'm just going to pour in 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. And then I added about 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. It depends how juicy your lemons are, but I ended up using about 2 small lemons. Sometimes it can just be 1 if it's super juicy. And about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of dried oregano. That should be about good. And then just whisk it all together till it's nice and combined. At this point, I would taste the dressing to see if it needs anything. I really like it like that. But you could add salt or lemon juice or some more red wine vinegar. So the water is almost to a full boil, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up myself for shocking and blanching, which I'll show you what that means in 1 second. I need a big bowl I'm just going to get a bowl of ice water, get this water nice and cold. Okay, water is boiling. I'm going to add 2 large pinches of salt. This is going to really help to flavor your ingredients without making them taste salty. And we're going to add the asparagus right in. And we're going to cook this in the boiling water for about 2 to 3 minutes, just until the asparagus is just cooked through, even less, maybe 1 to 2 minutes. Then the asparagus is just going to get nice and bright green, and it's going to be like just tender, still a little bit crispy, but cooked through. Okay, that was it. I turned off the heat. I'm just going to drain this. I'm going to put it right in the ice water, and that's going to stop the cooking immediately and keep the nice bright green color. So I'll let this sit for a minute or two just to let it cool off completely. And again, it's like the perfect texture. It's nice and cooked through. But I'm going to use the same water to cook the pasta in. So I'm going to turn the heat back on. It should heat up nice and fast. Don't worry about the fact that there's like asparagus bits in there. Okay, I'm adding just a little bit more salt, and then I'm going to pour my pasta right in. I also always give it a big stir right when it goes in. This also helps for the pasta not to stick. And let this cook. This pasta, the bag says says to cook for 11 minutes. So I'll cook this, drain it, and then we'll toss everything together and it will be all done. Meanwhile, if you guys have any questions about this recipe, send me a message on my Instagram page. I won't see it here on the feed page, but if you send it to my page, I can answer you directly. Okay, so I drained the pasta and I'm just gonna add a little bit of the dressing just while it's still cooling so it doesn't stick. And just stir it around and I'll let this cool for a few minutes before I toss it with all the other ingredients. Okay, now I'm just gonna add all of the asparagus and all of the tomatoes and all of the artichokes and toss it all together. Look how pretty that is. And then we're just gonna top it with the dressing and toss it together. And that's it. You could serve this room temperature. I think it's best at room temperature or cold. And you can definitely add cheese or whatever else you want, but this is it, you guys. It's summer perfection. Thank you guys for watching, and thanks to the Feed for having me today. And if you're interested in taking over the Feed Instagram stories, send them a message, let them know what you want to make, and they'll get back.